When you hear a rumor about a rising music star stepping away too soon, it hits differently, especially when that artist is as unique as Anika Nilles. Lately, whispers have been circulating online suggesting she might quit early or that her career could slow down. But before jumping to conclusions, let's unpack what's real and what's just noise. First, it's important to understand who Anika Nilles really is. She's not just another drummer. She's a globally respected musician known for her technical precision, creativity, and modern approach to rhythm. Over the years, she has built a strong reputation in the music world, performing internationally and collaborating with top-tier artists. Now, here's where things get interesting. There is no verified report or credible source confirming that she plans to quit music or rush out early. In fact, looking at similar artists in the industry, many musicians evolve rather than disappear. And in Anika's case, there's no factual evidence suggesting any sudden exit from her career path. So where did this rumor even come from? That's exactly what we're about to break down. So where exactly did this rumor begin? Like many online stories, it seems to have started from misinterpretations. Some fans noticed that Anika Nilles hasn't been as constantly visible on social media compared to earlier years. For many artists, reduced posting is often mistaken for inactivity, or worse, a sign they're stepping away completely. But here's the reality. Musicians, especially professionals like Anika, often go through cycles. There are periods of touring, recording, teaching, and even personal time. These phases don't always play out publicly. In fact, stepping back from constant online presence can mean the opposite of quitting. It can signal focus. Also, Anika has been involved in multiple musical directions over time, including solo work and band collaborations. That kind of diversity naturally creates gaps in visibility. So instead of assuming she's disappearing, it's more accurate to say she's evolving behind the scenes. To understand this better, let's look at Anika's career pattern. She first gained massive attention through her viral drum videos, where her complex grooves and musicality stood out instantly. Those videos weren't just performances. They were educational, innovative, and deeply expressive. From there, she expanded into live performances, workshops, and album releases. Her debut album, Picolar, showcased her ability to move beyond social media into fully realized musical projects. Later, she followed up with For a Colorful Soul, proving she wasn't slowing down, she was building. Artists like this don't just quit early, they transition into different creative phases. And based on her track record, Anika has consistently shown long-term commitment to her craft rather than short-term hype. Batch 4, 1,000 characters. Another key factor fueling this rumor is the changing nature of the music industry itself. Today, visibility is often confused with relevance. If an artist isn't constantly trending, people assume something is wrong. But that mindset doesn't apply well to instrumentalists like Anika Nilles. Unlike mainstream pop stars, her audience is more niche, focused on musicians, drummers, and music enthusiasts who value skill over constant exposure. It's also worth noting that many respected musicians intentionally limit their public appearances to maintain authenticity. Instead of chasing algorithms, they prioritize meaningful projects. This approach may look like stepping back from the outside, but in reality, it's a strategic move. So the idea that she might rush out early doesn't align with how artists like her typically operate. Let's talk about facts, because that's what really matters here. There has been no official announcement, no verified interview, and no credible report suggesting that Anika Nilles plans to quit music. In fact, her past interviews highlight something very different: passion, discipline, and a long-term vision. She has spoken about her love for rhythm, composition, and pushing creative boundaries. These are not the words of someone preparing to walk away. Rumors often thrive in silence, and when fans don't see constant updates, they start filling in the gaps themselves. But absence of noise is not evidence of an ending. If anything, history shows that artists who take time away from the spotlight often return with stronger, more refined work. There's also a psychological side to this. Fans sometimes project their own fears onto artists they admire. When someone like Anika, who has inspired so many drummers, becomes less visible, it creates uncertainty. People start asking questions like, is she done? Or did something happen? And before long, those questions turn into assumptions, and then into rumors. But here's the truth. Creative careers are rarely linear. They move in waves. Periods of high visibility are often followed by quieter phases of growth and experimentation. So instead of seeing this as a potential ending, it might be more accurate to view it as a transition, a natural part of any serious artist's journey. Another important angle is the pressure that comes with viral success. When Anika Nilles first broke through online, expectations skyrocketed. Fans wanted constant content, constant innovation, and constant presence. But sustaining that level of output isn't always realistic or healthy. Many artists eventually shift away from that pace to protect their creativity and well-being. Taking breaks, reducing online activity, or focusing on fewer projects can actually extend an artist's career, not shorten it. It allows them to grow without burnout. So if Anika has chosen a more balanced approach, that's not a sign of quitting, it's a sign of longevity. Let's also consider her influence. Anika Nilles has already left a lasting mark on modern drumming. Her style, phrasing, and musical approach have inspired countless musicians around the world. Artists who reach that level don't simply disappear. Even when they step out of the spotlight, their work continues to resonate and evolve, and in many cases, they return in unexpected ways, new projects, collaborations, or even entirely different creative directions. So instead of asking whether she's leaving, a better question might be, what is she preparing next? And at this point, the rumor starts to lose its weight. There's no solid evidence, no official confirmation, just speculation built on limited visibility. And when you look at the bigger picture, everything points in the opposite direction. Anika Nilles has built a career based on depth, not hype. That kind of foundation doesn't just vanish overnight. If anything, the quieter moments in her career may be the most important. They're where ideas develop, where creativity expands, and where the next phase begins. So the idea that she might quit early doesn't just lack proof, it contradicts everything we know about her journey so far. So what's the real truth behind the rumor? Simple. It's just that, a rumor. There is no factual basis to claim that Anika Nilles is rushing out of her career or stepping away from music entirely. What we're likely witnessing is a natural shift, one that many serious artists go through as they grow and redefine their path. In today's fast-moving digital world, it's easy to confuse silence with absence and evolution with decline. But Anika's story doesn't fit that narrative. If anything, her career reflects patience, creativity, and long-term vision. And those qualities don't lead to early exits, they lead to lasting impact. So instead of asking if she's quitting, maybe it's time to ask something more exciting. What's Anika Nilles going to do next? As we wrap this up, it's clear that not everything we hear online deserves to be believed. The rumor about Anika Nilles quitting early simply doesn't hold up when you look at the facts. There's no official statement, no confirmed report, just speculation fueled by silence and assumption. And honestly, that says more about how fast misinformation spreads than it does about her career. In today's world, if an artist isn't constantly visible, people start creating their own narratives. But real artistry doesn't work on a daily posting schedule. It takes time, space, and sometimes stepping away from the spotlight to create something meaningful. Anika has already proven that she's not driven by trends, but by passion and purpose. And artists like that don't just walk away. They evolve, they experiment, and they come back stronger. So instead of focusing on rumors, maybe it's time to shift the conversation. Let's appreciate the work she's already done and stay open to what she might bring next. Because if her journey has shown us anything, it's this: she's far from finished.